central government on 20th December had sought Parliament's approval for capital infusion worth rupees 41,000 crore to the ailing state-run banks in the current fiscal. 11 out of total 21 public sector banks have been placed under the PCA framework of the RBI, which restricts such PSBs from lending money, in addition to placing other curbs on them. This capital could help as many as 5 such state-run banks out of the 11 to exit the PCA framework and also provide other weak banks with much-needed capital so that they do not slip into the said framework. So what is PCA? The PCA, or Prompt Corrective Action, is a regulatory framework which imposes lending and other curbs on weak banks until their financial health can be restored. These 11 banks were put under the PCA framework between February 14th and January 2018. Now, back in October 2017, the centre had announced a recapitalization plan of 2.11 lakh crore. In the current fiscal year, rupees 65,000 crore had already been approved, and now the centre is seeking a further 41,000 crore, taking the total up to 1,06,000 crore. While on the face of it, the intention of the government may seem to be noble, but why is the government in such a hurry to infuse such massive amounts of capital instead of improving the operational efficiency of these ailing banks? We have Akhilesh Bhargav giving more insights on this.
We are all aware that banks in India have lost huge amounts of money on account of bad loans, what we popularly call NPAs. These bad loans have crossed a stunning figure of over 10 lakh crores so far, and according to us, the figure continues to rise. Most of these losses on account of bad loans have occurred to the public sector banks, the government-owned banks, and it is they who have lost their capital on account of bad loans given. Their capital has been depleted, their capital has been eroded to such low levels or negative levels that they are actually not eligible to be in the business of banking. As the owner of these banks, the government needs to recapitalize these banks should it want them to be in the business of banking. And so, the government has had a target to pump in about 2.5 lakh crores by way of additional capital into banks in India to replenish the losses incurred and to make them eligible for being in the business of lending. In this budget, the government had provided for a sum of 65,000 crores by way of recapitalization, pumping back capital in the banks. Mr. Jaitley seeks to now increase the current year's allocation by another 41,000 crores. That's the amount they wish to recapitalize in addition to that which was provided in the budget. Now, why is Mr. Jaitley or the government in a hurry to recapitalize banks? The reason is very simple and evident. The government is headed to an election year and it needs to ensure that all banks are firing on full cylinders. They all need to be in the business of lending. But at the moment, 11 public sector banks are not permitted to lend because they are under the PCA regime of the RBI. And the government seeks to get them out of this PCA regime. It needs to expedite lending. It needs to ensure that more money, liquidity is pumped into the system. It needs to give the public a feeling of feel good, even though it is based on debt, even though it does not make good financial sense. This kind of money being put in by the government is what I would call putting banks on financial steroids. Because the right approach would have been to actually improve the operating efficiency of these banks, get them back into profits, let them revive their operations out of their own better functioning which gives them profits, which improves their efficiency, which ensures there is cost cutting and which puts an end to NPAs. That would have been a better way to get them out of the PCA. But that would have taken time. And the government, with election on the cards, is in no mood to be slow on this. They are in a hurry, and that means 41,000 crores being pumped into banks again. Sadly, into the same system, according to us, without any rectification in the way they have been operating. And this would be just money gone down the drain from the angle that it's the same system without any rectification and money being pumped back for lending. That's, according to us, the purpose of this 41,000 crores of additional recapitalization being done by Mr. Jaitley, for which he has sought parliamentary approval.
Now, if one recalls, one of the primary reasons for the disagreement between the centre and the RBI that led to the shock resignation of former Governor Urjit Patel was this very same PCA issue. And with general elections just around the corner, perhaps the government feels it doesn't have the time to improve operational efficiency of the banks and hence has resorted to a quick fix solution of recapitalizing them. Also, do let us know what you think in the comment box below. For more news updates, log on to www.hwnews.in.
If you like this video, please share it and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel.